I want more for the youth. I want them to experience more than just lean and club talk and and like all that shit. Like I want them to have that moment when they like when I first heard Dead Prez, I was like life changing.
KILLA podcast. KILLAofficial.com.
THTC, the UK's leading ethical streetwear label. Organically grown and ethically built garments from hemp, organic cotton, and other sustainable materials. 2019 is their 20th anniversary year. Join me with THTC as a KILLA podcast sponsor celebrating music, social activism, hemp, and street culture. THTC, eco-fashion redefined since 1999. Beatbox created.
KILLA.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
KILLA podcast.
And they're like going crazy.
They're going crazy.
I'm feeling it.
It's dope. So.
Yeah. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I like it. I like it.
We're just having a little session on beatboxing. Ladies and gentlemen, big shout out to our friends Graffiti Kings, and without question, it's a fucking pleasure to have my guy inside the ride, DJ Craze.
What it do? What it do?
What it do? What it did? We're
What's
talking
up,
about what it is.
It's been a minute. How you doing?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
You're vibrant considering the flight.
Yeah. Well, shit. It's been a day.
Well, yeah. And the night before.
And I slept like 12 hours. So that was good.
Yeah, but there was a lot of tranquilizing going on after the show last night.
Many shots.
This is that, yeah, many shots.
Yes.
Many shots for many friends that when you did the DMC and it's beautiful, it's wicked.
Yeah, man. Shout out to DMCs.
What was it? What was it like for you jumping back on there on a level like that?
Oh man, it's kind of stressful just because like DMCs you gotta when I spin out, I have a drink or two and I'm like calm.
Yeah.
Cut that. You gotta be sober. You gotta be focused, and it's like I wasn't even competing, but I felt the anxiety of everybody competing.
Fuck yeah!
And I was just like, oh shit,
It's mad.
Yeah, but it brought back good memories. You know what I'm saying? Like I still love the battle element of DJing. I still love that shit. It's like I'm a b-boy, so I was like, man, this was so cool when I was young.
yeah, totally. I mean, it must throw you back. Like we were just looking at the beatbox stuff there, but and that just throws me back into a time where like that must do it with you as well. Like seeing everybody having an absolute like panic and
that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's part of the fun.
Yeah.
It's like watching the movie Juice. You know, it's like,
oh my God,
like
come on.
Everybody's just like,
yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. We come from a very similar school, I thought.
Yeah.
We're the same age, pretty much, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think so. So it's like,
I'm only 32.
Yeah, I'm only 31. So we're kind of in that kind of age bracket where you should be watching Juice.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's a lot of that kind of. I question whether it's nostalgia or was it genuine article originality that can always swings me back to watching it and thinking, damn, like that's still got something.
Yeah, man. It's like the creative levels and the thought put into like what you're doing and just creativity. It's just dope, man. Like I miss that shit. Like I see DJing now and it's a whole different game. Yeah. You know, and I'm not gonna be like the old head, like saying all that shit. But turntablism. It's just dope. It's just dope how you take two things and make them a different thing. It's dope. Love that shit.
Yeah.
Shout out DMCs.
Hold on, DMC. It's a athletic thing, isn't it? It's and that's something that I hold really close to the fact that I don't know. Juice is like, I guess it's like the Bible to the DJ world in a sense, in the same way that maybe Star Wars? Subway Art, or Star Wars is for Graph.
Yeah.
It's the sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. There was a movie that put DJing to that level. You know, I remember watching Juice and I was like, wow, that's so cool.
So cool. Everything about it.
Everything about it was cool. But then when I got into DJing and I look at it now, I'm like, wait.
Yeah, there's some flaws in this.
Yeah, nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
All of it was weird. I was like, he's not doing that.
Is it true that Terminator X did the scratching for that film?
I think so. I think so. It was it Daddy Rich? I think maybe Scratch did something.
That's crazy.
Don't quote me.
Don't quote.
Yeah, but
comments below.
It was some of the older heads.
That shit's cold. So for those of you that don't know, and I'd be fucking very surprised if you don't, judging by the caliber of people that watch this shit and listen, by the way. Subscribe. I repeat, subscribe. Do not sleep on I repeat. Make sure you subscribe. Craze will come around your house and sort you out. Yeah, Craze is five times world DMC. 5 times world DMC champion. 3
solo and 2 with teams. That's
yeah.
I count it.
Formerly Allies, right?
From the motherfucking Allies.
Yes. Slow Roast record label.
Slow Roast Records. Yes, sir. I relaunched it.
Relaunched it, yeah,
yes,
didn't
sir.
you?
Yes, sir.
Who's the geezer that you do the stuff with? The combo at the moment. There's a
2 cents.
2 cents.
Yeah, 2
Hold
cents.
tight, 2
That's
cents.
me and 4 Color Zach.
Yeah, there you go, bro. Like
bad boy.
Yeah. Some of the tunes I remember when they first started coming out, I started spinning them. Fucking sick. Bro.
Word.
Yeah. So you've been busy.
Been busy. Been a busy year.
Yeah.
I've been in the studio a lot.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's I'm having fun in the studio now. It's like before it was just like I don't want to make beats, and everybody's like, "No, you gotta be a producer." I'm like, "No, I don't."
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
That's not what it says on my resume.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's telling me this?
But then I started getting into it, and I started having fun. It's like a video game, so I'm enjoying it now. Got a couple tunes coming out in the next couple months.
Oh, sick! On the label?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, one of them isn't. I did a tune with GTA. That's coming out on their label.
Oh shit!
More 2 cent stuff, solo stuff. I started another project with my boy Spider Tech. It's called Mete Mano.
Ooh.
More global music, more baile, boomba, everything global.
Yeah,
man.
I like the fact that you're broad in your taste, but you kind of filter it through almost like a hip hop sensibility. So everything that I see that you do, I mean, even to the point of outside of the music, but when you're doing something technically, I just fall for it because it's like, dude, that's just like totally like it's utilizing those things, but it's in the funk is always there.
Funk is always there.
It's the hip hop's there.
Yeah. That's what me and H.I. were talking about with routines.
Yeah.
Like, the funk is always there.
Yeah.
Like, when we watch other people, I'm like, where's the funk?
Yeah.
But for us, the number one thing is the funk, style, the soul, you know what I mean?
All of that, bro.
And that all comes from hip-hop, you know what I mean? It all comes from growing up.
From the source.
In the sauce, yes.
It doesn't feel like there's ever a mistake. I mean, I know from beatbox point of view, you can style that shit out, but like that genuinely doesn't feel like, sometimes like some scratch DJs or some jugglings they do, like it tends to fall off a little bit. It's just like a little bit too loose, and it slowly, the cartwheels are coming off. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
In come the, but you doesn't. And A-Track, that level, that generation, it's the mastery of the technology, but you still manage to keep time of everything.
And even when we fuck up, you got to add some flavor to that.
Yeah.
Like, I meant to do that. And then recover in a dope way. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. The funk.
Right. I mean, I'm going to go through a few simple Q&As. It's mostly I know all of it. I mean, I've been around your family house and from back in the day. I mean, we got so many tall stories as well.
You were there at my wedding.
I was there. We're going to come to that. I was going to say shit about that.
Amazing wedding.
That was the most amazing thing I think I've experienced in a short hot minute. Like, it was short and quick.
Straight from the movies.
Should we just explain this? Can we explain this?
Yeah, of course.
Right, so... So it was you and your lady wife's, Roz's wedding, and we were doing a show in Vegas. So what better thing to do then?
Get married in Vegas with Elvis.
With Elvis. Do we need the family? No, we don't.
No.
KELA and his missus at the time is there, so let's just all climb flat in.
You were my best man.
You couldn't write it.
Oh man, that was amazing.
Couldn't write it.
I got married in Jordans.
Yeah.
With sunglasses.
All of us had sunglasses.
Oh my God.
We were waiting for the sun to come up. He was like, "Do you take this woman to be your lawfully married wife?"
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "Oh my God, what a surreal moment!"
And then you guys had a big fight and then tore up the papers, and it was a big argument, and then everything just stopped. It was like, "I saw you technically married. Yeah, we're technically married, but we don't gonna call it marriage no more."
Yeah.
No, that's what Vegas does to people.
Yeah. And we were just touring, and Roz was like, "Let's get married in Vegas." I was like, "All right."
That's the coolest shit. I mean, by far, it's the most rock and roll wedding I've ever experienced in my life.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking mad.
Us and Brittany did it.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, no, those were some good times. But let's you know, let's rewind it back even further. Your mum and dad together, obviously.
Yeah.
Still together. Hello, mum and dad. Yeah. We did Thanksgiving there, right?
Yeah.
But when did you first get your turntables?
My first decks, I believe, is when I was probably 13 or 14. It's when Hurricane Andrew hit Miami, and it fucked up our house. And with the insurance money, my mom got me turntables.
Oh my God! Is that the truth?
Yes, that's the truth.
That's incredible.
Big up Hurricane Andrew.
Yeah. Without you, yeah.
You know,
That's amazing.
God blessed me.
Yeah.
By fucking up our house.
Yeah. Damn. I mean, you know, Miami's notorious for those kind of
hurricanes. Yeah.
Crazy.
We haven't had a crazy one since Andrew. We've had hurricanes, but not like that. Andrew fucked shit up.
Yeah.
Like how Bahamas got fucked up. That's how Miami got fucked up. Leveled like a whole city south of us called Homestead. That's where the Air Force Base is at. And just
through
planes.
That went.
Yeah, and through planes like the military planes. It just like fucking just threw them all around and shake. Because with hurricanes, there's tornadoes involved too. Yeah. Like there's mini tornadoes everywhere.
Oh, so they're spinning while it all... So
it's some crazy shit. So
Miami, we're gonna fuck you up. It's like, you know, that level of like, thanks a lot.
Yeah. And I started DJing with my brother, but my brother lived somewhere else, so I had to go to his house all the time to practice. And he got into a fight with my mom's, so I couldn't go there anymore. And then Hurricane Andrew hit, and she was like, "You seem kind of bummed out because you can't go to your brother's house. I'm gonna get you turntables." I was like, "What?"
That's the coolest shit. That's the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, man. That changed my life.
I don't know many parents that do. I mean, well, listen, I look at the demographic of DJ, and I think this is another thing as well. It's not entirely a poor man's sport. It's quite an expensive hobby, isn't it?
Yeah.
That comes with a lot of gear, and you've got to be tech-minded. You've got to buy the right things. If you buy the wrong things, then you're wasting your time.
Exactly.
So, you know, for your mum to just be like, well, I've got this money, so... It's an argument that, you know, like...
And it was like, I think I was 14, so maybe she was like... Because, you know, in Latin culture, when you're 15, that's like your quinceañeras. But that's usually for girls. But, like, when you turn 15, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So I think she was just like,
that.
Instead of buying you, because like, you know, when you're 15, you either get like well, shit, we were broke, but you either get a car or you get something like baller. And she was like, I'm gonna get you turntables. I was like, word.
Changed the history of you and pretty much the DJ culture. That's fucking mad.
A hurricane.
You couldn't write it.
That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy. And back to the point that you were making about it being expensive. Like that's another reason. Well, I'm gonna get to this later, but nowadays there's not many kids that want to be a DJ anymore because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
When you could just become a producer.
Yeah.
And download Ableton, a free copy of Ableton, and just become a producer. And so that hurts the DJ culture. Yeah. But back then, to become a producer, you needed outboard gear.
Yeah.
You needed other stuff. So
and PC,
it was cheaper to become a DJ back then
100%.
than a producer.
100%. Yeah. I mean, even now, like the price of the things, they're not going down anyway. You know, the SPs and MPs from back then are still expensive now.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like I in very similar situations to the guitar nowadays. I mean, you know, an average guitar is like can be $8 to $1,000.
Yeah.
You know, but people are stopping doing it. And I think a lot of it is because, well, pay for that when I could just get a rip copy of Ableton and just, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's
and you could blow up faster.
There's
mad tutorials on how to sound like Skrillex, how to, you know.
Yeah, anyone, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. And technically it's progress is quicker because of the easy accessibility, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But that being said, things are changing and they have got crazier. And some of the things we saw last night. When and like you're saying that the champion now, he's a young gun. How old were you when you were just like, okay, I'm going to take this? I mean, I have no doubt you took it very seriously to begin with, but like when did you actually figure, right, oh, I think I got something here?
I think when I was like 16, 15. I joined my first battle, and I wasn't good. But I had the basics down, and I was 15, and I'm in this club, and I'm battling this guy named Fingerprints, and he's like the dude. But I go up there, and I just start dissing the shit out of him. People were like, what? This is literally
Which is a charm in itself.
Yeah,
It's like,
and I had swag back then, and I was all like, just doing the whole thing, b-boying it out, and people were just like, "Oh man, yeah," and everybody's going crazy. And like when I felt that love, I was like, "This is it." This is
endorphin levels are like,
yeah, man. I was so hyped. I beat him. I did my body tricks. I did all that shit. People were bugging out, and I was just like, "Man, this feeling is dope." You know what I mean? It was that hip hop shit, you know what I mean? Like the respect was there, and I was just like, I want more of this. Yeah, I want more of this. And I just went home and started practicing like crazy.
Yeah, man. I remember seeing you on ITF. Fucking hell,
1998.
Yeah, I think Tony was there as well.
Yeah, the perverts were there. I battled first rate.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
But then you know. For me, with the beatboxing and coming into the DMC the way I did, I mean, it was only like maybe 2 years later when I did the World Champions in New York, and I did the DMC there.
That's right.
The moment I did it, I mean, I had an affliction for like my influences were definitely scratch DJ related. I just basically mimicked as much as I could of that. But when I actually got into the DMCs and I was a part of it, the institution suddenly kicked in, and you realised you were part of. There was a kinship. There was a whole thing, and I was, I'm humbled to have been a part of that thing. You must have been on cloud nine. Like when you think of that era of superstars, straight superstars, like you, A-Track, Scratch Perverts. I mean, God, the list goes. Internationally.
Yeah, Q.A.T, X-Men, everybody. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So it was on a high level. You feel me? Like the DMCs were on MTV one year. You know what I mean? Like just broadcasted live. I remember that one DMC that the whole stage was a turntable. That shit was crazy.
Hold on, what's the whole thing was?
The whole thing was a turntable. The whole stage was a big ass turntable.
No way, I didn't know this.
Yeah, that's when Cutmaster Swift won.
Okay, so when was that? That was 1990.
Yeah,
something early.
Let me just Google it real quick.
Yeah, no, I do remember that I kind of got into like that era of like DJing. Probably when Rock Raider did his signature piece, 1993. I think Kofi won or something. I can't remember who won. That's what I remember.
It was 1998 or 80 something.
Yeah,
late 80s.
Yeah, and they had a whole turntable set up as a
turntable stage.
That's crazy.
Insane.
That's crazy.
Insane. But that's when like hip hop was fresh still. You know what I mean? Hip hop, DMC, everything was still like buzzing and huge. It was huge.
It kind of fell in tandem with what was going on with the music. You know, the shiny shirts were cool, but there was a backpacker thing popping off that that was later spearheaded a lot more by Kanye and Common and the likes of Jay Dilla and things like that. But there was a real like young, youthful aggression to like DIY, and that kind of fell into that turntable.
Yeah.
That suddenly had its own thing, didn't it?
Yeah. It's like turntablism was becoming its own thing. Like it was an instrument.
Yeah, man.
Turntables are my instrument. I can make whatever sound I want. It just felt dope. It was a cool time and shit. It was like we were taking things that were already done and making them something new.
Yeah.
Like we were creating our own little world. Like I remember listening to Q.A.T's mixtape, and I was high on acid, and I was just like, "Whoa, he's talking to aliens." Because as you know, Q.A.T, that was his whole thing. Like I'm trying to make a scratch that I could communicate with aliens, and I was just like, he really is talking to aliens. Like I was high as fuck. Like yo, this is amazing. And that
Hippie craze, having like a good time.
And that changed my life. I was like, I want to talk to aliens too.
When was this?
This was like 96, maybe 97.
Oh my god! So the young craze was like trip because they used to have that. They used to have those tapes, didn't they? It's the Clams.
This
of
one
Death
was called Clams of Death, but this one was called Original. Was it Pumpkin Squeeze Music, something like that? Pumpkin Squeeze Music, some shit.
Yeah. They had ones. There was one called Zula La Femfu and some shit. Some crazy.
Yo, they always came up with the
like names. You shouldn't really be reading it and saying it. They did it so that you couldn't.
Yeah.
Clams of Death, though, the Invisible Scratch Pickles. Again, for those of you who don't know, these were like seminal characters in the scene. They literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, Q.A.T's the scratch god.
Yeah. Hands down.
He's
That's
like
it.
the one. There's nobody greater.
No.
Yeah.
There's no one else that you could actually give and be like, yo, No one else has done it like this. No one else. He's still doing it and still doing it like this.
It's like this, yeah. Still,
Yeah.
inspiring. Still the best.
Yeah.
Still amazing.
Yeah.
There's nobody like him in anything that I can compare it to. Because like, you know, you have amazing guitarists. But you can't be like he's the best guitarist.
No,
or like
not
he's
anymore.
the most innovative guitarist.
Yeah.
Or he's had the most impact.
Yeah.
With anything. With scratching,
got
it's
it.
Q-Bert.
done
It's
it.
like he's the one.
Yeah. And the thing is, he's on some Wim Hof level of just like he does it like this, and there's some sort of like spiritual. It's almost like an there's like it's an exercise for him.
Yeah. And when he does it, like, you know, I pride myself knowing that I know most of what everybody does. Like,
Sure.
if somebody does some shit, I'm like, oh, I could figure that out if I want to. Like,
Me too with beatboxing.
with
for real.
Q-Bert, it's like, oh, mad humbly.
Really, really.
You know, it's like, oh, there's things I don't know. You know, there's things I don't understand yet. So
In your peak, see, this is a real pleasure because, you know, I know you for so long, but how often do you ever chat and ask some questions? Like, 'cause I'm a fan too, you know, it's my boy, but I'm a fan too.
I usually get the normal questions. You're going in.
I'm going in. Right, so like when you, at its peak, when you were really like up in the game, like ITF for instance, how much and how regularly were you practicing? How often? And how many times did you suddenly pick up something? Because this was a free-for-all time. You could be like, you know, invent a scratch in a second.
Yeah.
Like, how often were you having those moments?
Shit, like, when I was coming up with all the DMC routines, like, that's what me and Infamous were trying to do. We were just trying to invent shit. Trying, like, we would just look at the turntables for, like, 30 minutes, just like, what about that? Can we use the weight? You know what I mean? We were like, all right, what about if I just, like, have a coin and just go, no? Okay. What about if I turn the needle upside down? You know, like, we were just trying to just invent shit because that's what made you cool. That's what made you
To fuck
next
shit
level.
up.
Fuck shit up. Be creative. Like, do what nobody's done before. And that was it. That was all we wanted to do. Just be different and be creative and just do shit that makes people's jaws drop. You know what I mean? Like that. I want that. I want.
Yeah, like,
Holy shit! He just did that.
I love it. You love that. I love it. You love that. I remember the Allies, 2001, 2. I can't remember.
We started at 98, but we
It's a New
started
York
kicking
one.
butt around 99.
Bro. Right. So okay. Unsung, in my opinion, was that DMC final. Scratch Perverts won it. We won it, but not. I just disagree. And we all come on. Even Scratch Perverts are just like, hold on, what happened?
Well,
Bro, you guys were just like, if anyone gets a chance to go on the DMC website and check out the Allies routine from that era. Oh, bro, like
99.
The move, everything in such precise detail. It was like there was the detail, and that's what threw people.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own opinions of it. Like, I knew as soon as the Perverts did that diss against A-Track, I knew it was over. Because coming from the battle element, I was just like, that's all it takes. It takes that one, whoa, moment for the crowd to like, and even for the judges to like be like, oh shit, he got him. You know, I'm like, that's all it takes. And like the Allies, we were fucking everybody up. Yeah. So I knew the judges were gonna look at that like, yeah, that's all they needed.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
The Allies. But Tony and them came with some creative shit. So it wasn't just the diss. It was just like the diss sealed the deal. But everything else that they did was creative and original and new.
It wasn't new. Yeah,
we were on some other vibe and they were on some other vibe. So it was basically up to the judges on what vibe do you like right now.
It was the first time, and this is why I walked away with thinking, fuck, actually, because it made me want to go and create. And it's the idea of like seamlessness. Just it was a full composition piece. And that never been done before. But it was so, for me personally, I felt like it was overlooked.
Yeah, I think so too.
Even now, like they're doing it, but in my head, I'm thinking to myself, no, dude, like that was done, but it just wasn't documented in the right way. It needed more documenting than anything else.
I think there has to be like a scratch part 2.
Remember
the movie
yeah,
Scratch?
Of course, yeah.
There has to be a part 2 on where that ended and where we took it.
Yeah.
It was really focused on like the Pickles and X-Men, the generation before us, but nobody really talks about the generation that we did it.
No, that's right.
You know what I mean? Like, and the Perverts as well, and
the Lost Rock Stars, for real.
Yeah, the Perverts and the Allies were the ones for me.
Yeah.
Like
that was it.
Yeah.
You know, there was a few other contenders, mixologists for the time.
Of course, mixologists, all the dudes from Sweden, they were always killing it.
Beat Junkies.
The Beat Junkies as well.
Okay.
The Beat Junkies, I feel like they were in between that era and our era.
That's right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
They were kind of on that. Yeah.
But they were shout outs to the Beat Junkies. They're my heroes as well.
Yeah, all day. All day. Rhythmatic, he was one of my favorites.
Rhythmatic's dope. Hell yeah. Babu, Melody, like all of them dudes. I used to listen to their mixtapes and just get high on acid and listen to their mixtapes.
Was acid your medicine of choice? Was that
When I was young? Yeah. I think that's what opened up my mind and made me want to take shit to the next level.
Cold.
Yeah, because like right after, like when I was in high school, that was my thing, and just it opened up my mind. All my boys were like, you know, trying to get drunk and chase bitches. I was trying to get high and scratch. You know what I mean? I was just trying to like focus that energy.
Miami is a playground and notorious for you know partying, winter music conference, and you know
just the whole lifestyle.
And I was privy. I think I must have done about 2 years over there when I was dating my girl at the time. I love it over there.
Miami's dope.
Yeah.
I was gonna move,
dope.
but like, I was like, Miami's home.
Yeah.
Miami's dope.
Yeah. It just feels like it feels like Mediterranean, but it also feels like LA.
Yeah, it's Caribbean. It's
Yeah, essentially.
Miami's Latin America, right? Like, there's nowhere in Miami where the Latin community runs shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's why I love it. It's like I feel like I'm in the Caribbean. Yeah.
It was a real kind of moment that, and I remember it like, I think Winter Music Conference really helped like kickstart shit, but you'd suddenly see like Fat Joe being over there and Diddy and Pharrell and they all just start migrating there. Lil Wayne got to play, they're all making music
That's
there.
when electronic music was starting to blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Miami really, I mean, okay, hold on. Actually, before I go any further, Miami bass, man.
Bass sessions. Oh,
yeah, oh my God, come on. Come on.
You brought me back.
Bro.
Yeah.
I remember your Fabric compilation. You did it, and you had like this kind of, you had it all worked out. Like it was like, there was the Miami bass, then you went into some other stuff, and Roz was rapping on there.
Yeah, oh my God, Luscious.
These guys were
With
fucking
your
killing it.
missus.
Yeah. These guys were on a rap crew. And to be fair, right, they had every single credential. They had it really... It
could have popped off.
Could have popped off. It was around that same time as, what's that? Get Your Nails
Spank
Did.
Rock and Kid Sister. It was around the same era, and it was like club music was really starting to have a big impact.
Yeah. But I know bass music was like a really big thing for you.
Yeah, I mean, bass music is what I grew up on.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was kind of getting like this little revival because everybody was trying to figure out what their lane was in club music. Either, you had Baltimore club music.
Oh, shit.
You had house, like Fidget House.
Yeah.
And like we were rocking the Miami bass vibe.
Yeah, that's and it's. I love the fact that Miami has that own organic genre, and
that's our thing.
It's your thing.
That's the thing. I mean, when hip hop was blowing up, that was a New York thing. Like Miami bass was our thing.
Yeah,
like Miami bass and freestyle music. That was Miami. Like we weren't rocking with that hip hop stuff. That's New York shit.
Yeah.
You know. And
do you remember the MTV MTV Raps when people were going like style it out from East Coast, like Cypress Hill would go down to Miami for a live festival, and they're fucking Timberland out, fucking sweating themselves. They know that they bought the wrong
rocking hoodies.
Yeah, they bought
like
the wrong
90-degree weather. Like, what are you doing? But that was the look. Yeah. I missed that look, the Timbos.
Yeah,
Woo!
Me too. It's kind of come back in a little way.
Yeah, in a little way.
I
was rocking Timbos like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I went through it again.
Yeah. Just pull them out. They're still in the cupboard. But yeah, like you had a plethora of different like genres and choices you wanted to go at that point. Like obviously, like the bass music was a huge influence. How? Because you have stuck to your roots of rap, and I think from the outside looking in, because we haven't hung out a lot in the last maybe 5 years, right? But as my boy, I'm watching, and I'm like, you've chosen to really stick to your fucking guns, and now there's this like new subgenre of like we were saying last night, some heavy electronic J Dilla up to 30
beats. Word.
crazy. And
Yeah.
like you're actually like a figurehead of that thing now, which is crazy.
Word. I'm always looking for that shit that inspires me, like that new vibe, and that was a vibe. Like
Hard.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago, I was touring Australia, and I'm a big Ivy Lab fan.
Hold tight, Ivy
Yeah.
Lab. They've been here. They've been on.
Oh, dope, yeah. And I was a fan of their drum and bass stuff, right? And they sent me this 2020 album.
Oh my god, yeah, the drum and bass stuff is cold.
Yeah, the drum and bass shit is like,
Yeah.
just amazing. So they sent me this 2020 thing, and I was like, all right, cool. I start listening to it, and I'm like, wait, this is hip hop. I was like, what the fuck? And then I just keep listening to it, and I'm like, holy shit.
What the fuck?
This is something new. This is something fresh. And I was touring with my boy Ape Drums, and he's just looking at me like, yo, you smiling a lot. What's going on? I'm like, yo, peep this shit. You know? And he was listening to it. He was like, oh, yeah, it sounds like some Dilla. I'm like, yeah, but like the sound design is crazy. It's like drum and bass, you know, mentality with
Loose
shit.
as fuck.
Yeah, and I was just like, yo, it's still got like that organic beats, and I was just like, whoa, this is, and I just hit him up. I was like, yo, I want to mix this for y'all. Like, I want to like fucking make
you hit him up?
tape. Yeah, I was like, I hit up Gov. I was like, I want to mix this
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they were just like, yeah, hell yeah, go ahead. And that was the first mix for 2020. And then I was just like, yo, send me more of this shit. I want more of this shit.
Yeah.
And then Noise just started putting shit out like that too. And then Shield started putting shit out.
Yeah.
And then it just became a vibe, and I was like, yo, this is me. This is what I like right now. This is what I want to push on people because it's so dope and fresh.
And it just feels like the directions it can go. I mean, yeah, you could put an MC on it, but you don't need it.
Exactly. And it got that boom bap flavor, and it got that funk, and it got that soul. You know what I mean? Like that's what's missing in electronic music.
You should check out the podcast I did them. I asked them about cake. I was like, tell me about cake, and they go, oh, that just took us like an afternoon. We had it already mapped out. And I'm like, what?
That's how things happen. Like, now that I'm more into production, like, I just made a tune. I landed from Thailand, and I was like hungover and just hating life. And I was just like, but I was inspired for some reason. I was just like, oh, I need to do something. I went into the room, made some shit in like 3 hours, started sending it to my boys, and they were like, this is the best shit you've ever done. How long it take you? I was like, 3 hours.
Ain't that the way, huh?
Yeah, it really is. Like, when you have that inspiration, you just gotta focus, and you just gotta.
Yeah.
Same thing with routines. Like, if I'm inspired, I'll come up with some crazy shit, but I just gotta like.
How do you, you know, now I'm asking out of curiosity because of my own creative path, because obviously life with electronics, life with social media, life with being on the road and doing stuff all, you know, having everything thrown at you any one given time. Where do you find that? Like, how do you channel it? Like, sometimes you could be absolutely knackered and you're just like, you know what, I can't even switch this laptop on, but I know I'm inspired, but I'm just like, it's just long.
Funny thing you say that, because I've been tweeting that. I'm like, yo, for some reason, when I'm hungover is when I get creative. Like, when I really get nuts. When I'm hungover, when I'm feeling like shit, when I'm angry, I don't know, it's something about, somebody tweeted back to me, they were like, oh, that's that B-boy shit in you. Like, when you're angry, that's when that comes out. It's like, when I think my favorite routine that I've ever made was my New Slaves routine. And that came from me being angry at what was going on with EDM and like celebrity DJs and like just
You did the video for it as well. That shit was fucking incredible.
Thanks, bro. My G.
My G, to touch you on that one, for real, again. That was fucking fire.
Thank you, bro.
Fire.
And that came from that kind of like, in my head, I was just like, I felt like the culture was being disrespected, right? Yeah. And I was just like,
the whole intro of it was just mad.
Right. And I was like, when I was thinking about that idea, I was like, I'm not just gonna make another routine where I show off. Like, I want a little story. I want like a little. I want to throw out a message out there for people to get, and I don't want to say a word. Right. So that was my whole thing. I was like, yo, there's no me talking, just imagery of the shit that I hate. Not even the shit that I hate.
I'm goosebumping as you're saying it. Keep going.
Keep
going.
I was just disappointed with what was going on with the culture, and I made that shit, and it was from a place of that B-boy coming out. Like, I need to say something. Like, my culture is being disrespected. Everybody's just taking a shit on the turntablist side. I want to show them what this side is all about, because this is a culture. This is an art form. It's not just
Yeah. Because it will be the death of DMC. It will be the death of...
Yeah, man, that's why DMCs and Goldies and Red Bull, like, these competitions are very important.
Yeah, for real.
Because this culture is dying. You know what I mean?
Is that in your opinion, would you think there's a life expectancy with this?
Nah, I think it's always going to be here.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But what I mean by it's dying is, like, people... I don't know, just people give a shit about it less and less every day, but people are giving a shit about everything less and less every day.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
everything is weird.
There's nothing... There's every good reason in 2019 with everything we've got on resource. You know, who would have who would have thought that we'd be sitting there having a chat like this the way we are? We have everything, and yet we choose to be lazy and not use any of that shit. What the fuck?
And even with rap music, right? It's almost kind of like a thing to be like, oh, he's woke. And it's like, wait, wouldn't that become not cool?
Yeah.
Like, being woke is a good thing.
Rakim was woke pretty regularly.
And it's like, you know, it's like, but people will be like, I don't want to hear that shit in the club. I'm like, oh, damn, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
to the point that actually 50 Cent in 2008 sounds more woke than the people that are doing it now.
Yo, yeah. I mean, rap music.
It's like changed.
I'm sorry to sound like an old head, but rap music sounds really dumb.
It sounds
really, really dumb. I mean, there's amazing shit out there, of course, you know, but what's on the radio and what, you know, and what's popping is really, you know.
My theory and thoughts on that are, because, you know, I like, and I've said this before on podcasts, you know, I'm a heavy, like, Napalm Death fan, and sometimes I can't hear everything that they're saying when, like, you know, but it's a vibe, and sometimes with mumble rap, it's a vibe. Like, there'd be some songs where I would certainly, like, get off on it.
Right.
At the right place. Or in a gym.
When you're tipsy, like, you know, you're just,
But I feel 100% what you're saying. And I think a lot of it is people copying other people, thinking it's that easy. And if they haven't quite got it managed, then they'll just fix it in the computer.
Yeah. And I think, too, it's like, the dumber you sound, the cooler you are, like, sometimes
Which
with
doesn't
kids.
which doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, you know, I grew up listening to 2 Live Crew.
Yeah.
And that was dumb.
Oh my God. That was,
you know what I mean? That was only like...
dumb in a good way.
It was in a good way because it was club music though.
Yeah.
You know, but like some of this shit I'm like, oh man. And again, sorry to sound like an old head, but I grew up playing Fugees and Wu-Tang and De La Soul in the club. This is like, you know, the golden era of hip hop, but it was substance. Yeah. And there was like, everybody was different. Sounding the same was not cool.
No. Yeah, okay. Yeah, totally.
So it was like everybody had their own vibe, and it was like, it was colorful, and it was, you know, it was, I don't know, people weren't there just to get fucked up. People were there to experience something and to listen to. Hip hop was empowering back then. You know what I mean? Like now it's like, I feel like, not to get into like Illuminati shit, but like I feel like it's meant to dumb us down. It's meant to keep us stupid. Yeah. I mean, we have Trump as president. I'm not blaming it on rap music. I'm blaming it on everything.
The whole social structure.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes like having like a competition, just go back to the DMZs, but you know, there's URL, there's fucking the SBX, you know, like, you know, there's Swiss Beatbox. There's a whole different, like there's genres and subgenres that all have competitions. You can't be copying someone else in those competitions. Try it. Try it. You know?
Biting is not allowed.
Yeah. If you try telling one of them URL rappers, Jesus Christ.
And that's how you like, you know, improve the art form. That's how you raise the bar, by being original, by being creative and all that shit. But nobody gives a fuck about the art when it comes to rap music nowadays. It's all about money. It's all about
copying, repetition.
Copying and just formulas. You know, everything is just a formula. Everything is analytics, and how could we
like shit like that, which we all fall foul to here and there depending on what we're trying to do, you know what I mean?
I was on a little social media break, but now I'm like, well, shit, I gotta get on social media.
Hold on, I've got to play catch up. I'm gonna see you later. I'm only on it for at least a couple of weeks.
For sure.
This is the new pop music. I think grime music and drill and the UK stuff has a level of message, but I think that's just social it's not, yeah, like you say, in America, the hip hop scene the rap scene over there, it's dulled the fuck down. It really is dulled down. It's actually bordering unrelatable over here now. Like, and I think there is like regional because of the internet. I miss US rap for its transatlantic import vibe. Like, oh, cool, we got the new guy. Like, what's going on? When's he coming over? You know, like, we don't get it no more because I think a lot of people, the borders are shut. Like, in the same way France was with French rap.
Oh, right.
And Canada as well.
A good comparison.
You know?
Yeah.
You know
They got their own shit going.
They got their own shit going on. And that's England now, I think.
Yeah. That's cool, though.
Yeah.
I like that shit. Because, like, I remember I did a gig in Paris, like, I don't know, 2 years ago. And that was the vibe. Like, I was playing, you know, all the dope new shit. People were going crazy. And then the guy after me started playing some French shit. And it went nuts.
Yeah.
And I was like, word, this is dope.
I know, I love that.
I love that shit. You got your own thing going.
Because going into like, and just, I can only refer back to Miami because it's its own ecosystem. And I remember going there with my missus at the time, Michelle, and I was just like overwhelmed by like what was going on. I mean, albeit they were all strip bars, but you know, it was like what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's crazy. Like it's got its own scene.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If I said to you, all right, no, we're gonna go back now because I know you and me have very similar taste in what the fucking best fucking albums were of the day.
Oh shit! All right, here we go.
Well, let's talk about Bizarre Ride to the Far Side.
Jeez,
Yeah, I'm on.
You went straight into it. I was thinking like, is he gonna mention my favorite album of all time? Yes, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side.
Best album ever.
Best album, best hip hop album in my opinion.
Me too.
Yeah,
1000%.
and Kanye. Kanye's a
Yep.
Yeah, Kanye said.
Yep.
It just changed everything for me. You know, like at the time it was West Coast gangster rap, and it was like East Coast. East Coast had the native tongues and that kind of vibe, De La and Tribe Called Quest, and we loved that. But it was that wasn't coming out of the West Coast, and then these fools came out, and it was just. And at the time, again, I was taking a lot of acid.
Yeah.
And I saw that album cover, and I was like, "Whoa, what's this?"
Done by fucked? What the fuck?
Exactly. And then you open up the poster, and it's like, "Oh, the roller coaster. It's a chick." I was like, "Wait, this is great." And then I started hearing the music, and I was like, "Whoa, nothing sounded like that at the time." And every song had its own little vibe. And, you know, it was mad relatable, like passing me by. I was in high school.
Yeah.
Getting no chicks.
Yeah,
totally. And I was like, they're talking to me.
Yeah.
Like, it just meant so much for me in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It meant so much.
Bro.
It was like the one that changed my life.
For real.
Yeah, for real.
A wealth of creativity on one record, bro. Like, even when you read the names of the songs, they weren't in story form.
Yes! Oh, my G! That's crazy.
This is mad.
Yes. All that shit. And all the beats were different. Like Return of the B-Boy had a different vibe than Soulflower.
Oh my God.
You know, they all had a different vibe. Nothing sounded the same on that album.
I remember seeing them on MTV Raps and they were just like so fucking stoned out. Like they were clearly like living in squats, skateboarding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want that. Sign me up
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Graffiti on the walls.
It was a vibe. I remember that's the time when I started growing an afro.
You went in.
Yeah, because I was like, Roma had the afro and I was wearing like fucking double XL everything.
Yeah.
Being that kid, being the
Double straps on,
like headphones on, just I was that kid in high school. That was dope. That was my favorite album of all time.
Yeah,
it's that one and then it's Illmatic. Yeah.
Which it's almost like the flip side of the fucking coin. Which again dynamically was just.
And Illmatic was a movie.
Yeah,
like it.
Oh my God!
It brought me into his world. It was like, wow. Yeah. Like the imagery and everything was just over the top. The production was crazy. The lyrics were crazy.
Do you remember like the album cover itself? There was something really strange. For me, as being the age I was, I'm sure you relate. There was something sparse about the album cover that made you wonder, what is it? It was really sparse. It was just like this kid with a logo on the top.
Yeah. And Queensbridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some projects or some shit.
You didn't know what era it was from. You didn't know what it was. And then you heard it. And for its time, to start with the Wild Style theme tune, it's like, damn, it's brave. It's like straight in.
Yeah, like what he was growing up on. You know what I mean? Like, hell yeah. Like how he got into hip hop. Yeah, no, it was dope.
Do you find that weird that because when there's some songs that like that Wild Star song, that it surpasses time in that it's got an evil undertone to it that it's just cool whenever.
Yep. The first time I heard that beat was on a Q*bert mixtape, and I was just like, wow, it sounds like a movie. Like I just kept thinking that's something from a movie, isn't it? Like, of course it was from Wild Style, but I didn't know Wild Style at the time. But it just sounded, it sounded crazy.
That's crazy when you think about how we, as our generation of hip hop, because we Rocksteady era, Zulu Nation era, but we had to go back and discover shit. And it's incredible now when you think, but mid-90s, it's like, we weren't realising that we were listening to old school records. Yeah. They were making it cool, but then all of a sudden it's like, shit, like, we discovered a whole new bunch of shit just off the
And it was cool to do that.
Yeah.
And it was cool to, like, dig deeper. Yeah. Yo, I remember, like, every time an album would come out, me and my boy Josh would just look at the credits like, where did they get the sample from? And then try to find that sample. Go to the record store and be like, yo, you got this? And just play the original sample and just feel so good. That you're like...
Just a cool kid that's just worked out how to get this shit.
Word. And then, like, when you would play it out, you feel cooler. You're like, yo, I know where this came from.
Intro it in, bang into the...
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the DJ culture as well. Like, I'm sure there'll be a load of kids that, we say kids, 21 and plus that grew up on your stuff and your show. And, hold the fuck up. They won't know where that came from.
Exactly, yeah.
It's fucking Mobb Deep. But the way you've spun it, it's like it's just come out of nowhere. It's a sample. Like, where'd it come from? I bet there's a load of people that do that with your
word. Yeah, like when I did the Art of Noise, people didn't know what the fuck Art of Noise was. They were like, what's Art of Noise? And I'm like, they made Moments in Love. They made this. And I was like, and I wanted to flip something from them, and it just worked out. And that was like, that's how you showed you knew more than just the regular dude. You know what I mean? Like, you were like, yo, I'm special. I know more.
Challenging
I'm
intellect.
woke.
I'm woke.
No?
Challenging intellect. Challenging your peers, isn't it? I used to love doing that.
Yeah, man.
And now we're the peers.
Yeah.
So we've just got to be prepared to be challenged, isn't it? That's what it is. What was your mum and dad into growing up?
Shit, nothing. They were just hardworking Nicaraguan immigrants. You know what I mean? Like, they were just always working. Yeah. Always working. So, yeah. I don't even know where my love for music came from. I think it was from my brother, but he wasn't into music like that. He was into music just to get lit.
Really, yeah. So, yeah, it's funny how, like, was he older than you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 6 years older than me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, so he's quite young when...
Yeah, I'm the youngest one. Yeah.
Brother and
a sister.
Sister, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met your sister.
Yeah.
And what do you think was where does the aggression come from in you?
Like, B-boy side?
Yeah.
B-boy. B-boying. Like, when I fell in love with hip-hop, it's because I heard Gangstar, I heard De La Soul, and I heard all this music that was empowering to the ghetto youth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I was broke when I was growing up. Like, we lived in, like, a one-bedroom apartment, 5 of us. So I come from that kind of, like, just really poor living. And hip-hop gave us a voice and power. And that's what I'm saying. Like, when I did my first battle, the respect that I got, that was
way beyond anything you
more
ever
than
got.
Money. I was like, money ain't shit. This is everything. And I wanted more of that. And that's the B-boy side of me that just, I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so that aggression comes from being a B-boy. Yeah. Always wanting to be better. Always wanting to improve.
It's good.
Always wanting to, like, raise the bar. That's some B-boy shit. And that's what hip-hop did to me. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's why, sometimes we sound like old heads because, it's not that we diss mumble rap, but I want more for the youth. I want them to experience more than just lean and club talk and like all that shit. Like, I want them to have that moment when when I first heard Dead Prez, I was like, life changing. I was like, word.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, yeah, man, power to the fucking people. Things are fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you say Gangsta, like that Hard to Earn album, the beats on that was. I just play it now just because it's you know, I know like.
That was Premier in his, like, just all the beats were different.
It's that feeling. It's that. Okay, so you got the consciousness of Guru, but like the beats, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna program them that way, and fuck you anyway. You know, that's just crazy.
Which one's the one that's like, here we go, here we go, here we go. I get the shit. That it just starts with a.
Oh my god!
Is it all the way to go?
It's not.
It's on Hard to Earn.
Is it?
Anyways, yeah, Premier was like just experimenting and just doing crazy shit. Yeah.
And what you're saying is perhaps you appreciate it may not be for yours and your taste that mumble rap exists. What you're saying is you want there to at least be the other side of the coin, where at least as the people that are into mumble rap grow and progress intellectually, you want there to at least be another side where it's a little bit more awoke, a bit more like together. Yeah.
You know, especially in these times that we're living in. You feel me?
Because we're all misty-eyed and we're not seeing past the screen on our phones.
Yeah. It's I feel like somebody like Dead Prez right now, somebody like Rage Against the Machine right now, somebody like Public Enemy right now, somebody like
Anu for Anu. Yeah.
We need that new revolutionary voice. We need people, you know, to really realize what's going on.
Yeah.
Like we're dumb as fuck right now. We're living in like what's that movie called? Idiocracy. We're living Idiocracy right now, and on a big level. And you know, I'm not just trying to like preach. Let's be woke, but we should wake up to what's going on. There's a lot of fuckery going on.
We talked about this really briefly yesterday, and it's the whole idea of like history fucking repeating itself, and no one actually recognizing it's going down.
Yeah, and it's different now because nobody's giving a fuck.
Fuck, yeah.
You're recognizing it, you're seeing it, but then people choose to like turn it off.
Yeah.
Because it's a bummer.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Just good vibes only.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I get it, but it's not good vibes only.
No.
That's not what the universe is made of.
Because that's why Hitler came into power. That's why
Trump is in power right now.
Well, yeah, and this is why these things, right or wrong, are made through lack of being awake.
Yeah. Dumb people voted for Trump. Dumb people and people who didn't care. People that were just like, we need something new. And I guess he's the one to do it. They didn't pay attention to the fact that he's never done it. He had no experience. And he's a fucktard. You know what I mean? Everybody was just like, no, but we need something new. And it was just like, no. You fucked this one up.
Guys are definitely in the eye of the storm. I'm extremely vanilla when it comes to politics. But what I understand is when you and me are on a flight going to the next show, and you go, "Have you seen Fog of War?"
Oh shit! All right, I know where you're going with this.
1 second.
Oh shit! I changed your life, bro.
Bro, he says, "Have you ever seen Fog of War?" And I said, "No." I watched Fog of War, and I got fucking Fog of War.
Yeah,
that shit right there,
game
changing
right
shit,
yes,
bro.
Sir, yes, sir.
Like, and I just keep it on me as a close reminder of what can go really wrong when you're
going wrong.
Yeah,
it's going wrong.
Your shit ain't. If your eyes are away from what the things those people are doing, then shit can just get really close.
And they want you to be not looking.
Yeah.
That's why, the news is full of like, there's a cat stuck in a tree.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Fuck. My man's over here killing people.
Yeah. Fuck the cat in a tree. Yeah. People with snowflakes out there at the moment.
Yeah, man. That was a great movie. That was the era that I was really into documentaries.
You went documentaries, right? And also we were also on that level of like The Secret. Weren't we?
Secret,
This was our thing. We were talking about.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean, jumping the
law of attraction. Hell yeah. It's science.
Yeah. Hey,
real. It's real.
Shit works. Shit works. There's a refinement in documentaries now, and I think there's. I don't know. I think it's like the opposite. It's like the rare good documentary, which is
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
to find. You get and you feel like, oh my god, I got to tell someone about this because this is like some. And you hunt out people that are like you. But now, like with Netflix and stuff, there's just it's almost like an overwhelming amount of like documentaries
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
point where I can't even be able to watch any of this.
And there's like two kind of documentaries: the ones that get you mad
Yeah.
and bummed out,
Yeah, yeah.
and sad, and then there's the good ones like the artist documentaries, that get you inspired. There was one that I saw a couple months ago. Something about being great, like just they interview like Jerry Rice, Wayne Gretzky, all the greats, and they all have the same mentality. And I was watching this and I was like, damn, that's how it was when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Because we didn't give a fuck about nothing other than being the
Clear
best.
lane. Yeah.
We just wanted to be the best. And like that movie, like, it's like that movie and like The Secret. Those were confirmations to me on what is going on over here is correct. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you need that. Sometimes
Just
you need-
affirmation.
yeah, you need affirmation. That's the word. Yeah, sometimes you need to know that maybe you're on the right path. when everything is coming at you in different directions and you're just like, you feel, what am I doing wrong? Just those are the movies that are like, no, you're on the right path.
Yeah.
And you're things are moving correctly.
Yeah, man. As a respectable human being, it's like you kind of have to, because I've never been like, I've always been underqualified at a lot of things, but I know that tenacity and common sense and just work rate, these are the things that really make the difference. Especially like I'm from a very similar background to you in that I come from like a fucking factory estate in the middle of a field. You know what I mean? I shouldn't in theory be anywhere close to this. You know what I mean?
Word.
But you get these opportunities, and to have someone else, like you say, with the documentaries that are out there where they're telling you stories about people and how they came to greatness and how they. It is, it's affirmation. It reminds you of like, actually, that's the way. And you just fill in the blanks in your head.
Yeah, exactly. And then it helps you keep pushing.
Yeah.
The good fight.
The good fight. And talking of which, so your fight continues with jet lag and you're going to be flying off to, where are you going? So where are you going after this?
I'm here for a couple of days, chilling, just hanging with friends and going to Bristol, get some studio work done. And then Barcelona Friday. And then Manchester on Saturday. And then I go back home.
Dude, you're really deep on this production stuff at the moment. Studio
Yes, sir.
all day, yeah?
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun now.
You're enjoying it now.
Yeah. So next year is gonna be tons of music coming out.
Sick.
I haven't had a good year like this in a minute when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then more new 2 Cent stuff coming out.
New, yeah.
Yeah, part 5. I don't know if you've heard the mixes.
Oh no, the mixes. I've heard the first bunch of tunes that you threw out. You threw some ones.
Well,
out,
the
like,
mixes
last year.
are all right. So like me and Zach, when we got together, we were just like, yo, we were fans of that era of mixtapes where there was a lot of thought put into them.
The layers. and
Yeah,
shit.
trust me, you would like them
Oh,
because
I
they're
don't.
kind of woke, but they're funny, and they're like, we talk about what's going on in the world, but in our DJ kind of way.
Sick.
And the skits are dope. Everything is just mad creative, and trust me, you would love that shit.
Oh hell yeah!
And so like when we did the first one, we were like the whole culture was like, what the fuck? What is this?
Threw
And
'em.
so we started doing them more and more and more. And we're on number 5 now.
5.
Yeah.
5. How long
It's
does it
been
take
5
you to do a
years.
mix like that?
A fucking long time.
Long time.
It's a project.
Layers and layers.
Layers and
yeah,
layers
yeah.
and layers, because it's like every skit has a theme, and so it's like it's not just us playing music. It's like it's like an
Story.
album.
It's a
It's like a story. It's like an album. The last one was fucking nuts, and this one's gonna be even crazier.
So they're ageless. They must be ageless.
Yeah. It's like like I hear them now, and I'm just like, fuck, this is dope.
Good.
This is dope.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's-
That's like that's like. When you're in a good thing where it's just like it's ageless and it fits a time, but it has all the components of like a new kind of way of thinking.
Yeah. I listen to them shits and I'm like, wow, very
sick.
proud.
That's sick. Must be fun working with someone else, because when you're on your own, to remove yourself and say, yeah, that shit's great. It's quite hard to do that, isn't it? Because you're constantly. It takes at least 6 years before you can go back to something and go like,
Yeah.
I know what I was trying to do there.
Yeah.
Must be fun having someone else to bounce off of and just laugh with.
Yeah, especially Zach. Zach is like one of the most creative DJs, if not the most creative DJ when it comes to mixes and ideas. Like he's a beast. So like yeah,
Hold tight, Zach. Big up, big up, big up, big up.
Because Zach, like he puts mixes together. Like the Bill Cosby skit. When you hear number 3, this is before Bill Cosby went down.
Oh no!
And he made a skit that was hilarious, and it was just dark.
And you're like,
And
there's
then
no
when-
way this could ever happen. We
And
just
then
put
when
it out.
came out, all that shit came out, and then he went to jail. Wow, Zach called that shit, and it's dope.
Wow. So you're going to be going to do shows. You're going to got the music coming out.
Yes, sir.
Anything else we need to know, my G?
No, just gonna keep doing what I do until I die. Just keep pushing the culture
That's what
forward.
we like to hear.
Keep, just keep being that fucking GOAT.
Killing that shit, son.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man. You're up there in the leagues of Jazzy Jeff. You're up there in the leagues of, yeah. I mean, you're in the Z Trips. You're in that higher echelon.
All heroes, by the way.
All heroes, all friends, all heroes. And yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on. And
Gee.
my guy,
Always.
let's go chip shop. Let's go and watch Large Professor.
Yes, that'll be dope. That'll be fun.
It's another evening in London.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, for those of you who've just tuned in, yeah, you know what time it is. Fucking DJ Craze in the building. Subscribe to the show, podcasting all the way on all the social platforms and also on all the podcast platforms. KELA Podcast. Outletting was out of fashion. Stay lucky, people.
Yes, sir.
Peace.